Hey, what's good? What's good, man? It's the Thawahgabar, Black Authentic Truth, man. I'm in Houston, Texas. You know what I'm saying? Houston, Texas, at the West Coast, West Coast, the Southern Cookout. All right, Southern Cookout. That's where I'm at right now. Houston, Texas. About to get it in. About to go to the cookout. But I wanted to go live because when it comes to my audience and the people that rock with me, I know they look forward to me coming live. I'm 2 hours ahead of California time, and so I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do it. I'm going to knock it out. I'm going to go into some stuff, uh because I appreciate brothers and sisters, right? So yes, it's a little warm up in here. Let me just adjust. Let me just adjust the AC real quick. It's a little, it's a little warm. Yes, that seems good. That seems better. This back on. Where we at? Right here. Where do I have it? Right here? Oh, give me a second. Let me get this together. All right. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Hey, what's good with you, Kapa? Sister Barata now, how y'all doing? Yeah, like I said, I'm in Houston, Texas right now. And yesterday it was like it was like a cloudy day. It rained a little bit. Today it's a sunny day. It looks really nice outside. And once I get done with this live, I'm gonna head to the Southern Cookout in Houston, Texas, ISUPK. All right, give me some of that brisket. Had some brisket yesterday from a restaurant. It was pretty decent. It's pretty good. And what I notice out here is it's a lot of taco trucks, whether they be Honduran, Mexican, whatever. And I'm like, listen, we didn't come out here for tacos. We eat tacos all the time at home. That's all. That's damn near all I eat when it's I need a to-go meal is something like a taco or something. So it hit up one of them food trucks. So since we out here in Houston, Texas, I'm like, man, I gotta get some brisket. I gotta get some barbecue, man. I want to get something that I'm not. I mean, I eat it in California, but to get that type of barbecue, it's super expensive. I done been to destinations, with the older cat, the older brother, Walter, where he show you how the meat is falling off the bone and he walk off. I had that. It was, it was all right, you know what I mean? But there's a place in Ontario, California, uh, Mike Henry's, which is pretty fire. I always get burnt ends. But anyway, I want to get into some of the stuff. Black Rain 303, what's good? What you said, Tex-Mex. Yeah. I want to get into these stories because I don't actually have a lot of time. I got about an hour to really go into what I want to go into. So I want to blaze through these stories. And like you read on the title, yeah, there was some hot Halloween blackface. Halloween blackface. And we're not surprised, right? Us, us, people who know the truth, we're not surprised, especially with what has happened like in the last few months with the comedian Drewski dressing up as, a a down south white man, with the makeup, with the tan line, red hair, going to NASCAR and just fitting in with white folks. And I don't think some of the white folks even noticed that he was, who he was because the makeup was so good. But I want to show y'all something. Hey, shalom to you too, Black Rain. I want to show y'all something. So let me pull this up. Got everything already queued. Shout out to everybody that's tapping in. I shared this on my YouTube. YouTube page. I shared this on Facebook, on my Facebook page, and I shared this on Black Authentic Truth on Facebook. So, to get more people in here. I did not want to go there. Let me see. where we want to go right here. So you had some, like I said, you had some blackface. You know, Donald Trump has emboldened white folks to really, really go all out. So you had, these are just some examples. Okay. Let me click on this one. Now, this one, this one doesn't have the title, but it said something like, you know, with Snap being cut off, this is all I could afford. I'm just paraphrasing what it said, but she has a, you know, a bucket of, or, you know, a little box of chicken, right? And I don't know who she is, so I can't really go into that or who she is. We're just talking about it in general. Now, this white woman is the one that really talks real crazy. She is like what you would call, or the title says, pick me. She's like a pick me for right wing conservatives, right? So she's always talking about black people. And in fact, Captain Tazariak actually had a discourse with her. He talked to her before a few times, okay? So she decided to put on the bonnet, put on the gold chain, and go blackface. And yeah, then you had another one who kind of did the same thing. Now, this one, what they're saying is she actually is a meth head. She is, you know, a crackhead. You know what I mean? But she did it too. And they have, it's the other picture of her actually hitting the pipe. But anyway, okay. Anyway, I just wanted to, you know, focus in on the fact that, wow. Kappa said that's how they look under ultraviolet ray light. For real. That's how they look under the ultraviolet light. There's a video. If you go to Black Authentic Truth on Facebook, there's a video. I think I did post it on YouTube, but there's a video on Facebook uh, where it shows you what people's skin look like under ultraviolet rays. He said, what's funny is that Trump and his cronies are destroying them too. Yeah, that's the crazy part. They don't even see it, Black Rain. They don't even notice it. The racism is so crazy, they don't even notice what's happening to America and happening to their Make America Great movement. So when it comes to this blackface, we're not surprised, right? We're not surprised about this stuff. Like, this has been going on for a very long time. A very long time. You see this white guy, and as Carl Malone, uh, I think that's I forget the actor's name next to this brother who played in the Jeffersons. It's just something that, you know, around the era of the 2010, you've seen a lot of blackface. You've seen a lot of people when they would get called out, a lot of white folks would be like, oh, I don't know. I didn't know. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? And it's like, how ignorant can you be of history? Like, how can you live in the time that we live in and not know the ramifications of doing something like that? Like, it never fails. It never fails. I think it was like, his name was, you said Sherman Hemsley, not the brother, if that's who you're talking about, but the white brother, the white guy, not brother, but the white guy, I think it was Ted Danson. Whoever that white guy was that was with Whoopi Goldberg. That's what it looked like to me. Okay. It looked like him. You know what I'm saying? But whenever you have a situation like what we see right now, and what the big thing is this, is like, what people are saying, well, what about Drewski? Y'all remember the Drewski skit where Drewski dressed up as a white man, and they tried to get really upset about that. They tried to get, you know, they tried to really go in and say, like, that's racist. And we know, like, I mean, come on, like, racism has taken a different, you know, take now. Like, everything is racist all of a sudden. But that's what they try to do with Drewski, and that's what they're saying with all of this stuff. And then you even see some white people full out saying, listen, I love it. Let's bring this back. You see their true colors, you know what I mean, as far as online, but come on, like in person, it's like, I didn't say anything. I'm sorry. I didn't know that I would offend people, and I would like to apologize for what I did. I should have learned my history. I should have did this. You know how the story always goes. It always goes like that. It always goes like that. They didn't know. They're sorry. You know what I mean? So so that is, something that happened on Halloween. And I didn't get a chance to go into Halloween on Black Authentic Truth, but just a short history. Halloween is the practice of Samhain or Samhain. Okay, it's an old Celtic holiday. Old Celtic holiday where and you had Celtics and Druids, and this holiday was something where they said during the time of Halloween, it's the closest between the two worlds of the living and the dead, whereas the dead could come over and cross over to the living. And so what they did was they thought a lot of their loved ones would come back, so they would make plates of food and put it outside, and stuff like that. And then they would also wear costumes or masks or even the skins of dead animals in order to look grotesque and to scare away those evil spirits. And over time, it took on different forms. And at one point in time, children were sacrificed to a deity called Crom Croc. Okay. And over time it changed to animals and stuff like that. So when it comes to Halloween, if you celebrated Halloween and your kids celebrated Halloween, spiritually, what is going on is you are in a way sacrificing your children. You're rehearsing those acts of those ancient Celts. That was Halloween. So Halloween is something that, as far as Black and brown people, it is not nothing that our ancestors ever did. It's what came here in the 1900s through Irish immigrants. And when they got here in America, they were doing things like cross-dressing. They were doing all kind of weird stuff. And eventually Black people started to follow it. So, when it comes to Halloween, it's something we ain't even supposed to be celebrating, right? Another thing is, this is also that opportunity that white folks would take to say, hey, I want to dress up like an Indian. I want to dress up like a Black person. I want to, and then when they get called out on it, they say, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know. But even now, when people are getting called out on it, they're saying, but what about Drewski? Drewski dressed up. And it's not the same because, and it's sad that I have to explain this to white folks. It's sad that I have to explain this. Not sad. I don't really care. It's unfortunate that I have to explain this to white folks. I have to explain that what Drewski did was comedic. He wasn't coming from a place of racial hatred. Drewski just did a skit on Hebrew Israelites. And a lot of brothers and sisters are upset about that. He did it on the Purple Cats, right? But he's coming from a place of comedic skill, of acting ability, of parody, right? That's where he's coming from. He's not coming from a place of racial hatred and bigotry and prejudice. So that's the difference between when Drewski did whiteface versus when their white ancestors did blackface. Blackface was about making fun of Black people at a time where racial hatred and bigotry and prejudice was at an all-time high. You can't even compare the two. You know what I mean? But it seems as though like Caucasian people want to be victims at any given time. They want to make themselves a victim and say, look what you're doing. It's racism. And even now I'll admit that because I'm in my 40s and I done seen how the culture is as far as the society, how they counsel people and all of that, and how that has got bigger. I would say that things are more sensitive now. People are very sensitive, so you can't do too much. But even with that, take away that, it seems as though they just want to put themselves and position themselves as, some type of victim of Black people. They want to find a way to make themselves a victim of Black people. Another good point is when you seen what you saw was with Irina Zaruska, the Ukrainian woman that was unalived on the bus by the Black man. They were really trying to make themselves a victim with that, and they disregarded Nora Wilson in California, where the white man literally just randomly attacked her and her sister, stabbed both of them, and she died. Right, he cut her throat. You know what I mean? And then just maybe a week or two after Irina Zaruska, the Ukrainian woman, where they was just, oh man, this crime with these Black people, you had a white man that dismembered a young Black woman. He dismembered her and put her body in a wall. Many of y'all probably don't even know that. You know why? Because there's always a narrative when they're reporting in the news. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? Hey, make sure y'all like and share this video. Share this video, you know what I'm saying? But I think I said what I want to say with that, with Halloween, is they want to make themselves a victim. That's really what it is. And they want to flip it. You know what I mean? They always want to get back. And if you was able to open your mind to the understanding that Black and brown people are God's people, you would actually learn who we really are and who they really are. So you would know that there is always going to be a constant fight between white folks and Black folks. There was always going to be a constant battle. And you would say, why are they like this? Why are they doing this? Many people say they're obsessed with us. They're obsessed with Black people. Well, if you really knew who they were biblically, you would understand. It wouldn't be a surprise of why they act out the way they act, especially when they do things like this, blackface, or whatever the things they say. You would not be surprised about it. Okay. Now I want to drop that, and I want to go to and another thing I just want to say right now, my camera is running off of its own battery power. Okay. So if I might have a technical difficulty where I might have to change the battery because moving fast, I forgot. But I'm just giving y'all a heads up. If the screen might go black, don't worry about it. I'll fix it in a quick second. Okay. Exactly, Black Rain. Jacob and Esau fighting in the womb. Two nations, they would be different from one another. Stop the screen. Now, let's talk about Bricklady and how gullible people are. Bricklady. Rhoda Osman. Now, Bricklady has been found guilty, right? She was found guilty of basically scamming a GoFundMe for $42,000. Now, her initial video, it came out that she was hit. The side of her face was swollen, and she was hit by a Black man because she wouldn't give him his number. And she started to go in on Black men about not protecting Black women, and droves of Black women hopped on this. They hopped on this and they was like, yeah, protect Black women. And they was coming with the perspectives and the angles. And a lot of people believed it. A lot of people believed her. You know what I mean? Come to find out, she was lying. Come to find out, she pulled you from up under your bootstraps. Come to find out, a lot of y'all are silly, gullible, and you just don't dig enough for the real truth. A lot of y'all are silly, you're gullible, and you want to hate your brothers so bad that you wanted to believe a woman that was not even actually a Black woman. I think she's like Sudanese or something like that. I could be wrong, but she's like, she's not actually a Black woman, but she played that Black woman blackface real good. She played it so good that y'all believed her. Exactly. Black Rain said, I think she definitely is a Hamite, Black Rain. And when we say Hamite, we're talking about the difference between African Americans and Native Africans. Okay. Yes. The brother said, Shalat said a fly bit her. That's what I didn't know that, Shalat, but I heard that it was like some type of reaction, some type of allergic reaction why her side of her face was swelled up. But people believed it. Excuse me. People believe that a black man, because she didn't give him her number, that he hit her on the side of her head with a brick. But when they started investigating, there were cameras there. That never happened. But the point I'm making is look how many people believed her, though. Look how many women believe her. That goes back to you being silly and dumb and gullible. No disrespect. A lot of y'all are silly and dumb and gullible for the white supremacist feminization of black women. You are pushing to be a feminist and to be a victim. And it's funny that I said this. I was having this discussion with my coworker. That's right. Not all black folks are the same. Not all. It's funny because I was having this discussion with my coworker where I was saying we were talking about, and she's a woman, and we were talking about how society treats women like their children, as like they can't help themselves and they have to be a victim of men, or they have to be a victim of a man having sex with them. You know, we went over about 10 different forms of contraception on how not to get pregnant. And even then, still, if a woman gets pregnant, it's put on the man. The man has to, take that responsibility, whether he's involved with her or not. But with a woman, it's kind of like, oh, poor little you. Oh, he slipped and fell, and both of you guys had intercourse. Like it, and so that's the way society makes it like women cannot be strong. They can't think for themselves. They have to be gullible and always taken advantage of. You know what I mean? And she played a role that played right into that type of thinking of black men don't protect black women. Like, damn, another one, like brothers standing around and couldn't nobody protect this sister. You know what I mean? Like, and everybody believed it. Come to find out, she was just lying. She scammed all of y'all for $42,000, but she was convicted. She's got 10 years of probation. I think it said she can't be on social media for like 2 years, maybe 5 years. I can't remember, but she can't be on social media, and she has to pay the money back. She has to pay restitution. So Bricklady played black woman. Bricklady, she played not just black woman blackface, because all black women don't act like that. Let me be clear with that. There's some glorious, some excellent women, black women that carry themselves in an excellent way. Bricklady, she played like a ratchet blackface of a black woman. You know what I mean? She played that role and she outsmarted a lot of people. She built her story brick by brick. And then the authorities broke down her story brick by brick. And so she was lying. Okay. She was lying. Now I got a few videos. I got like 3 videos I want to go into. Okay. Shout out to you, Renee. Hey, shout out to you, Ryder Prophet 81. Exactly. Black Rain said, like Kamala Harris. How what the brother is saying is like something that I echo all the time. Not all black people, just because we are melanated does not mean we're the same. You know what I'm saying? Not all dark-skinned people are the same people. So we have to get out of that thinking that just because somebody is dark-skinned, we have some type of camaraderie or, Pan-Africanism or whatever you believe in that makes us all unify on the basis that we're black. You should snap up out of that dream, that misinformation, because it's just not true. It's never been true in the history of the world. Never been true. I love to use the ancient Egyptians. I love to use the ancient Egyptians, Mizraim in the Bible. I like to use them because their enemies were other dark nations. It's literally painted on the walls, on the hieroglyphics. They were a African people, and they had enemies that were from different parts, that were black people. They were just melanated people. So there never was no unity based on the color of your skin. That's a lie that we need to, leave in the past as far as black people. It's a miseducation of the European school system to say that because you're all dark, you all originate, you're all the same people. That's how white people view dark-skinned people. That's how white people view us. You know what I mean? We got to leave that misinformation alone. Yeah, so let me get this video. Let me remove Rhoda. Let me remove Rhoda Osman. Okay, so the first video, let me make sure I'm going. So this is. Oh, so I got him to do that.
What? Like I'm about to walk off or something? Stop playing me, bro. Don't get disrespectful. You win. I told you you won. Let it go.
Where are you doing? Oh shit.
Let me see something real quick. Seems like I'm getting a okay. I'm gonna start this video over.
What? Like I'm about to walk off or something? Stop playing me, bro. Don't get disrespectful. You win. I told you you won. Let it go.
Where are you doing? Oh shit.
I'm gonna go get somebody to dust your ass.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh lord.
Get it popping. So get busy. All right. Let's get busy. Because when you threaten me,
We don't have to do all that, y'all. Now, come on now. Goddamn.
or what? Don't ever threaten me in your fucking life. All right. And what? And did nothing. Because ain't nobody out here gonna do nothing to me. On God. Like I'm out here every Wednesday. See me. It don't matter where I'm from, nigga. Fuck all that.
So this video is it's a brother and a sister, right? And it opens up with the brother saying that you won. Like, I'm cool, you won, let it go. And the sister keeps on going on till you get to the point where the brother he's activated. And she tells him, I'll shoot you. And he like, do it. And I'm not afraid of anybody. Go get anybody. I'll be out here. But this video I'm bringing out is because this is the type of woman that get a lot of men killed. This is the type of woman that brothers will come. Now she calls someone, she call a brother, an aunt, uncle, father, whoever, and they come to defend her honor. And somebody ends up getting killed. Somebody ends up getting hurt because of her mouth. After the brother said, you got it. That should have been it. You know what I mean? And there's always this talk about protecting our sisters, which I agree. You should defend the honor of a woman, of course. But a lot of times, a lot of brothers have been, unalive or in jail now because they went to go defend the honor of a woman that couldn't shut her down mouth. She wouldn't be quiet. And she kept contending with a man that is, maybe his mouth is equal to her mouth to talk, but physically he is stronger than a woman. And then she go get some brother. She go get some cousins or something. And they come and take his life, or one of them end up losing their life. And now that's the result, that it could have This situation could have been resolved a long time ago. But when you're running your damn mouth as a woman, what you're doing is putting a lot of people in danger, because it's not going to be you that's going to be the end all be all. It's going to be some men going against one another on behalf of you. It always ends that way. There are a lot of people in the grave right now over this same situation. There's a lot of men in the grave right now over that same situation. I personally know someone that told me a story like that, where his cousin got unalived over a woman he was dealing with, but the cousin was just trying to defend her honor, but really it was her mouth that created the situation. Don't ever be a crash out. I'm not going to be a crash out or torpedo kamikaze for a woman that her mouth cannot be controlled and it is starting a fire that can't be put out. I'm just not going to do it. I understand. I can see a situation and say, you know what? I know how to diffuse a situation. I know the steps to diffuse something. So if I see I'm in a situation with somebody whose mouth can't be tamed, it can't be stopped, you are not going to get me in a situation where I have to fight for my life, or I have to unalive someone, or I get unalive. It's just not going to happen. It will never happen. And I don't agree to anybody being put in a situation like this. Now, in that situation, when he was saying, you got it, that should have been it. You know what I mean? And of course, she kept talking. He got angry. And then she talked about bringing a gun into the situation. Now he is furious. Go do it. We'll do it then. You know what I mean? That could have got real ugly, y'all. And I know y'all see it. A lot of y'all will see this, but a lot of y'all won't agree, because that woman in that video is you. You know what I'm saying? Shalat said, men shouldn't argue with females, period. Black Rain said, these women need to be checked and left alone. Ryder said, the crazy part is, if she put hands on him, all them dudes would watch. But if he hits her back, then they would have a problem. That is true. That is true. No real man will deal with this madness. Walk away. Right. You want to walk away. You want to remove yourself, because, you know, those emotions are high. And when emotions are high, it can only, go to physicality. That's the only place it's going to go. So, like, a lot of times when I'm in situations, I would play out the whole situation. You play the situation out in your head and ask yourself, is this what you really want for yourself? It can only go a certain kind of way. You have to reason within your mind and say, it can only go a certain kind of way. So the only thing I can do is to remove myself, is to walk away. Forget looking like a punk and a coward. Forget all of that. That don't even mean anything. What means something is that you get yourself out of a situation when you come home at night. When you come home at night to your family. That's how you are able to live a long life. There's many of our people are in the grave because they didn't have the ability to do that. They just didn't have it. And they're in the grave behind it because they couldn't walk away. They couldn't just say, you know what, I'm going to let it go because I'm a bigger person and I see this is going nowhere. They couldn't do that. But we all need to learn from this. You know what I mean? Some sisters are out of control with their mouths. Yes, and so that means as a man, I'm not going to be out of control with my mouth. As a mature person, even if it was another woman arguing with her, because women can be emotional. Even if that was another woman, it's like, okay, I see where this is going. I don't got time for this. I'm too grown for this type of activity. It looks like they're at a stand where they're getting food. I'm trying to get some food. That's what I'm trying to do. I didn't come here to argue and get in a fight and an altercation. If that's where your mind is, fine. But it ain't gonna be me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be the bigger person. I'm gonna walk away. You know what I mean? All that talking and all those wolf tickets, You can have them. You can have all the wolf tickets you want. Issue all the wolf tickets you want out of your mouth. But as for me, I'm gonna remove myself. You got it. That's it. Not what? I got somebody to come and dust you. I bring somebody up here and all of that talk. We so big on that tough talk in the Black community until it really gets real. Until somebody's mother is crying at a funeral. You know what I mean? We got to grow up. We have to grow up. But the reason why I brought this out is because sisters need to understand that you're a lady, you're a woman. You don't have to go back and forth with a man. If the man is in the wrong, then he's in the wrong. Don't go back and forth with a man that could just knock you out if he wanted to, really hurt you. Don't do that. And don't be emotional to put yourself in a situation. You could say everything you want to say, like, oh, if a bigger man, I'm licensed to carry and all of that. But will you be okay by sitting in prison for the next half of your life? Will you be okay with that? So from both perspectives, we gotta think. And some stuff ain't even worth all of the extras. Okay. Exactly. Just be quiet. Close your mouth. As a woman, any real woman knows, like, if she's in a disagreement with a man and he's getting verbally combative and he's getting, physically, he's acting like he'd do something, a real woman would know to just let it go, be quiet, and remove herself. She wouldn't put herself in harm's way like that. And a real woman wouldn't keep talking and get into a situation where she had to go get a brother, a cousin, and put them in a situation to defend her honor when her mouth could have fixed all of that. It didn't even have to go there. Okay, I'm off of it, y'all. All right. So let me get this next video.
To my kids that, man. I don't want them to go into society knowing that they could be treated a certain way because they're a darker shade. I'd rather them not know, find out for themselves, and turn a blind eye to it. Because me knowing that, for example, my friend Gabriel, he says there's certain things he can't get because he's black. I don't want my kids to go into any sort of function or anywhere thinking I might get treated a certain way because I'm not a lighter shade. And all my children, they're all different shades. So my younger children might get treated different to my older children because of their shade. I'd rather them nobody know nothing and just go into the world not knowing, and just that when it does happen, or if it does happen, they're like, oh, how come I got, oh, maybe because I'm overweight, or maybe because my shoe size is too big, not because of my skin. No, I'd rather them not know that.
So you'd only educate them if it happens and they come and they say, Dad, this experience happened, and then you be like, all right, this is why it happened.
So you have here, brother, it sounds like he's in Europe, and he's saying he wouldn't want to teach his children about basically racism and the history of racism because he don't want to set them up like that. He wants them to just go through life and find out in that way. I totally disagree with that. You know what I mean? And I feel like, and it's just my opinion, I feel like you don't love your children if you're not preparing them for the real world. Has anybody ever heard of the talk that Black parents have with their young Black boys? You know, the talk, like when you get pulled over by police, this is how you talk. Don't make any sudden movements. That's a real talk that a lot of Black people have with their young sons and daughters. It's preparing them so they don't be thinking like, oh, I can do the same thing as a white child could do when confronted by law enforcement. I can act the same way when confronted by law enforcement. When in reality, you know, history has shown us how our children get treated by law enforcement. You know what I mean? That you're setting your child up for success. You're not setting them up for failure by teaching them about racism and the history of your people. In a way, it's kind of like reverse critical race theory. And as a black person, well, I'm not going to tell my child about slavery. I'm not going to tell them about the treatment of their people. I'm not going to tell them why that happened to Trayvon Martin. I'm not going to explain why this happened to Tamir Rice. I'm just going to let them go through life and, experience all the little microaggressions from white society and internalize all of that and let it build up to one day they explode. One day they, as a grown up, they just explode and say, I hate white people. I don't know, but truthfully though, really, you're not gonna be real with your kids. Like, come on, man. What kind of, I don't know the logic behind that. I'm not judging this brother. Do what you want to do with your kids. No one can tell you what to do with your kids. But as for me and my children, I'm going to educate them on the history of their people. I'm going to educate them on, things they might encounter, at school, or things that white people might say to them, or microaggressions in the workplace. You know what I mean? I'm gonna educate them on that. You know what I mean? Let me see. Kapas said that's an illogical thought process. Of course, it's an illogical thought process to say I'm not going to teach my children about racism. I want them going through life with a clean slate. I want them to not see skin color. I want them to just think they're a human being. If we was all human beings, that's your identification wouldn't ask for your race. The forms that you got to fill out, important forms wouldn't ask for your race. It'd just be like, what's your age? What else? Your qualifications. Black Rain said, it's called passing on wisdom to your children. Exactly. It is like menace to society. The hunt is on and you are the prey. That is a good example, Black Rain. That's a good example in that scene on Menace to Society where I forget the father, the black father. I forget the sitcom they was on, Rock. And he was it Rock? And he was explaining to the young man that, you gotta be smart because they are hunting for you. You got to use your brain out here as a young black male. Writer said, if you don't teach your child about racism, you are doing a disservice to them. I agree with you. Charles Dutton, that's his name, Shalat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Writer, you said you are doing your children a disservice. Why wouldn't you want to prepare your child? It's like it's like there's a street where people are they're selling drugs, they killing, they stealing, they robbing. And if anybody goes down that street, that this is going to happen to them. It's like you saying, I'm going to allow my child to go down that street without even preparing them what to look out for, who's going to try you, what to say, what to do, how to act, how to behave. You're doing that person a disservice. And I would say that you don't even love that person. If you know the danger that's down there and you don't say, you know what, let me prepare them for this danger. How many times is it us as Black people, and I know y'all can agree with this, how many times is it that you say, man, I wish I would have known this when I was a child? I know so many things now that I say, I wish when I was about between the ages of like 15, 17 years old, I wish I would have knew this. I wish I had somebody to teach me this, show me this. I wish I had that wisdom back then that I have now. But you say, you know what? At least I can give it to my kids. At least I can tell my kids about, at least I can teach my sons and my daughters about peer pressure, not being a follower, not being, especially in this day and age where social media is built off of following. How many times have you said that to yourself and said, but look, you can give this knowledge to somebody that is younger. Why wouldn't you want to do that for your kids? Why wouldn't you want to set your kids up? I want my kid to go into a world that hates them, a world that is finicky, a world that is fake and phony, that smiles in their face, but behind their back, a world that hates them. That's really what the world is when it comes to Black folks. Like whether you in the corporate, whether you wherever you at, however successful you are, you live in a world in America where people put on a front in your face but behind closed doors, they say all kind of crazy stuff about Black people. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you want to set up your people for that? Adam James said, teach about the barbaric slave trade as well, with the Moors selling their own and not just whites with the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, yeah, I can get to that at another time. Black Rain said, the first time I was called a nigger, I was 5 and the white girl was 5. I didn't know what the word meant, but it was said with anger. I had to ask my mom what it meant. Welcome to racism. Exactly. Like, you know, why wouldn't you set up your children for that? What this brother experienced. It's something you should experience. It's something your children should know, and you want to prepare them for the real world. I will show my children, listen, it's still Black men being found hanging from trees in southern states. It's reality. It's the truth. It's the Black authentic truth. And why wouldn't I do that? Why wouldn't I set my children up? This is the world that you live in. You don't live in the world that you see on television. That's fantasy. That's fake. This is the real world. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the real world. And that's why, you know, you have a lot of Black folks that when they experience racism later on in their life, what ends up happening is they're just cut to the heart. They're like, oh my God, they called me the N-word. Oh my God, they did this, because they live in a world where they thought this world is like television. It's like Disney Channel. It's really not. And anything that happens to them, a lot of times they be so strong when you thinking like, oh, we all humans as a Black person, and that's how they view us. It'd be so strong that when some stuff do happen to you, you kind of just shake it off like you didn't know it happened. You know what I mean? You shake it off like it didn't happen. Like, oh, that was just an isolated incident. Man, the sun is going in and out. That was just an isolated incident. You know what I mean? If it seems to y'all like it's getting lighter and darker, that's because I have the windows open where I'm at in this Airbnb. And right now it just went full cloudy. So the sun is out, but exactly. I think I said everything I wanted to say. I would want to prepare my child for what's to come and for what the world is. That's what a good parent would do. You're setting your child up for failure, and you're setting your child up to be in places they shouldn't be, because they're going to be somewhere where they shouldn't be, thinking that everything is sweet when it really ain't sweet. Go ask that sister that went to that slumber party. She was at a slumber party with like 7 other white women. And, you know, she was found dead at the bottom of the steps of the cabin, and nobody knew what happened to her. Go ask the sister. It was a sister that had a white boyfriend. They was at a swimming party. She ended up at the bottom of the pool, and nobody at the party knew how she ended up at the bottom of the pool. I'm not saying this is going to, effectively, happen. This would happen. I'm just saying, when you're in places where you probably shouldn't be, that's from a lack of history. It's from a lack of education. That's from a lack of awareness. You know what I mean? And you as a parent should give your children that. I think so too, Ryder. I think so too. Many Black people are still on that kumbaya train. You know, that train done came and went. That train done came and went. All right, y'all. This is the last video I'm gonna get into, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. All right. Appreciate everybody that's been interacting with me, everybody that's been in the comments. I appreciate y'all. Much love and respect.
Male in America, born in this country, and you ain't rich, you just don't want it. You must be turning it away. I don't care if you're a fireman, a policeman, a nurse, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, a construction worker, a roofer, HVAC. If you're not getting rich in America, it's because you don't want to get rich, because it's here, man. Got plenty of opportunities. You're white. You're allowed in any room. To the other races, you guys should also get rich, because there's proof and validation of too many people that come here that don't look like me that actually get rich.
Yeah. So I forgot his name, but this man is a millionaire, multimillionaire. Okay. And he's saying you don't want to be rich. If you're white, and you're not rich, you don't want to be rich. What he really is saying is that white privilege exists. And he even spoke about other races. You get rich too. Now, when it comes to the meat of what he's saying, I totally agree with that. Because we live in a place where a homeless white person, if they wanted to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, take a shower, get their hair cut and stuff like that, and go apply for jobs, they could find themselves in a better position than a black person who has an education and who is a decent person and who's been doing it for a while. It's because they live in a place that was created for them. So what this white, and I'm glad he's white, I'm glad that he's white and he's a millionaire. This guy that's saying this, it's the truth. If you're a white person and I'm not even talking about being a millionaire. I'm just talking about being someone who has a job and they have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and they're doing well, decent, like a regular average person in America. And you don't have that, you're white and you don't even have that, then there's something wrong with you. Something is wrong. Maybe you have a mental disorder. Maybe you own drugs or something like that. But there's really no excuse. And I'll go even farther. When it comes to homeless people, I don't really believe in giving white people money when they ask for it. And it's not because of racism. Because I'm a type of person where I could have compassion on anybody. It doesn't matter what you are. You know what I mean? A hard time is a hard time in my mind. You know what I mean? And that's just me. But it's kind of like what comes across my mind is you failed at your white privilege. Like you didn't take advantage of your white privilege. Like what's going on with that? You know what I mean? Like I can understand when a black person or a brown person is homeless. And mind you, from Southern California, you really don't see Mexicans that are homeless. They're on the grind. They're selling fruit, selling flowers. They grinding. They not the type of people that just sit and ask for anything. I seen a brother not too long ago on the side of the freeway. It was an older black man. He had a guitar. He was playing, like, you know what I'm saying? But when I see, how I want to say this. I understand when it's a black person, when it's some other kind of person that's homeless. I understand. I know how hard it is to be black. I know how hard it is personally to get a job. You know what I'm saying? When I've had jobs, I had jobs offers where I'm going against a younger white man and I'm overqualified, he's underqualified, and he got the job. The job could have changed my life. It could have changed my family's life. You know what I'm saying? Making over 100K a year. It could have changed my family's life, literally. Like, so I know the struggle that black people have, even when you got the credentials, even when you got the experience. So I understand when a black person, I just don't understand when a white person is begging on the streets. I don't understand it because you have white privilege and you failed that white privilege. You better go work that white privilege. If there was a such thing as black privilege, I'm gonna work it. I would never be broke. And like he said, he's a millionaire. Hell, I'll be a millionaire too. You know what I mean? Thank you, Kapa. His name is Grant Cardone. Black Rain said, same in Arizona. Issachar be grinding. Them Mexicans be grinding, y'all. Man, you really don't see Mexicans homeless like that. I think we just recently had a situation. My wife was buying some food, getting me something to eat at one of those Mexican, what are those places? Those meat markets, and they sell plates. And she ran into a Mexican family, father and mother and kids, that was asking they wasn't asking for money. They was asking for something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like that's probably one of the times I can think of, but they don't be asking for money because they hardworking people anyway. They're gonna grind. They're gonna get out here and make a way. You know what I mean? So when it comes to white people asking me for change, it's like I ain't gonna lie, I've given white people change, But that's because I'm a person that has compassion on any situation. And if you come correct, you know what I mean, you'll get some respect. I had a situation with a brother one time. I came out of 7-Eleven and the brother was dressed nice. And I had on like basketball shorts or something like that. He asked me for some change, right? When I was coming out. And I looked at him, I'm like, damn, bro, you looking better than me. You look, and he like, I'm gonna keep it real with you, brother. I just came from a job interview and I just want to get me a beer. I was like, you know what? I can respect that. I can respect that, brother. Here, whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? But when I see a white person, it's kind of just like, come on, man. Step into your white privilege. You got to get in the game. Get into the game. Get off the bench. Step into your white privilege. I know there's somebody that will give you a job like that. They will take a chance on you like that. You could be a pedophile. You could be a mass murderer. They're going to give you a chance simply because of the color of your skin. So this man, Grant Cardone, he is correct. He is correct. Like if you're a white person, you should really be doing good in America. You should really be doing good because you got that privilege. It's really no excuse. No excuse at all. Sister Baraka said, she said, and they also know how to work together and put their resources together for everyone. That's true. That's true. So like this multi-million-dollar said to all white folks, if you are homeless and you ain't got no money, you just don't want it. You don't want no money. Because black people and brown people have to work twice as hard for the opportunities that you would get freely. I just read a story with a sister that said that her mother has all of these degrees and her mother's boss is a white woman that has a high school diploma. Like the who she has to answer up to, she's more educated than her. You see this a lot in the workplace. You see black people or brown people with more education, more experience being put as subordinates to people who have less education, but because they're white, they're tall, they're blonde, they blue eyes, or whatever, they're given the position over us. So if you're a white person, I hope that you hear this message from this white man who is a millionaire. So he has the back and he has the credentials to speak like that. If you don't have any money, if you don't have a job, if you're not a millionaire, you just don't want to be. Okay? You don't want to be. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. So with that, y'all, I'm going to wrap it up. I appreciate brothers and sisters for, enjoying this live or interacting in this live with me. Interacting with me. Like I said, I had to go early because I got some things to do. I'm in Houston, Texas. We're 2 hours ahead. So I was trying to make it. I know I don't go this early, but shit, I know I should be going this early, right? Instead of real late, on a Sunday. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the live stream. I'll be back. Y'all see me soon. This is Thawahgabar for Black Authentic Truth. Y'all stay safe. I hope y'all having a good Sunday. Y'all stay out the way. God bless you. I'll see y'all next time. All right. Peace. Let me see. Shout out to you, Black Rain. Shout out to you.
This is Black Authentic Truth.